Greetings everyone and welcome back to Pony Panels. Seems like a once a month sort of thing, and this time we're doing Friends Forever. Mainly the 32nd comic in the series, with an odd pairing if I do say so myself. Fluttershy and Daring Doo. Now, as my compadre Aaron, American Choir Boy, has said, the fact that Daring Do is a real thing in a real Equestria is bizarre. Very bizarre. But this is the first time we've had a Daring Do adventure without Rainbow Dash in it, outside of her own book series. And the reason for this is because of Fluttershy's particular animal skills. In specific to, well, map spiders. But needless to say, as always, Fluttershy is uncomfortable in the situation she's in throughout the entire time. But strangely, although she's afraid, she's staring evil right in the face. In the form of typical Daring Do villains, Arizodal and Cavaleron, who have once again decided to team up to try to, for Cavaleron, get rich and Arizodal to take over the world and whatnot, using Daring Do's latest treasure du jour, Zor, a treasure that belonged to a spider queen of sorts. But, you see, the problem with this comic, outside of the just absurdness of some of the typical Daring Do points, like Fluttershy apologizing in the middle of a brawl that's going on, that features deadly sharp objects in a kid's comic, folks. A kid's comic. Not only does this comic suffer by Fluttershy having her typical fear or apologetic beats, but this comic also falls short because it's Daring Do cliche. If you've seen one Daring Do story, you've seen them all, and there's not really much different here, except we learn that, well, Daring has a certain fear that links into the story, per se, and it's the most obvious yet kind of silly thing. But for a kid's comic, I guess it works. Plus, morally, this moral about facing your fears and doing them despite your other fear might sound similar to you. It's the same moral as Philly Vanilli, one of the more up and down episodes of the main series, and one of the first of the new 26 episodes way back in season 4. But pretty much the moral of this comic pretty much mimics it almost verbatim, using Fluttershy more as the teller rather than the receiver of flip and rolls, even recounting her famous last line in the final panel of the comics from that episode of taking baby steps. If you like Daring Do as a character and the notion of her high altitude adventures, this will most certainly fit, with plenty of more Indiana Jones references to be had, and some comical beats if you find Fluttershy's naivete comical. The comic panels are drawn decently well. Not superbly, but decent enough to get a passable grade. But all in all, if you're a Daring Doo and a Fluttershy fan, this is obviously a pickup. And if you're okay with Daring Doo being a thing, it's also a pickup. Because this is practically a Daring Doo comic with Fluttershy just sprinkled in so that the pairing that justifies Friends Forever checks out. But all in all, a reset of a moral, some forced plot elements to bring Fluttershy back to her shy self at points, and the reuse of the moral brings the comic down a peg, which unfortunately allows only me to give the score of a 3 out of 6. A decent read, but nothing too spectacular. Until the next Pony Panels, I'm Nirvana Sparkle. Find peace in your own Nirvana, and thanks for watching.